Let's talk about where to stay in Hanoi in Vietnam. Well, I was recently there and I stayed at a couple of hotels, one of which was the Hotel De Lagom, which was a relatively pleasant place to stay. Now, it's not at the ultra luxury end, but it is certainly a very comfortable hotel. Now, let's start off with the entrance. The lobby itself is relatively moody, I guess, in terms of its lighting, but it's a pleasant enough space to just walk through to get to your hotel room, and the service is very nice and very pleasant. Now, if we go up to the hotel rooms, there's a couple of things to notice. Firstly, well, the room was relatively large. Now, admittedly, this is going to depend on what size room you book, but my one was quite spacious. Now, within the hotel room, there was a very, very large bed. It was also quite large otherwise. For example, there was a spacious desk, there was a station at which you had things like where the water would be and the like, so a small kitchenette, which was pleasant enough. The hotel room also had a spacious terrace or balcony, which admittedly I didn't really use because it was so hot, but it is good to have. It made it have a feeling of space. The bathroom's also very nice. It has sort of a dark colorway, and it was all put together quite well. I think special mention needs to go to the sink, which had this very stone, hefty type appearance, and also the way they set up some of the smaller towels, which were designed to be like a bunny. Furthermore, it had these various different toiletries that came with the room. It was quite a pleasant bathroom. Now, my hotel room came with some free fruit and a free bottle of Dalat wine. I have not yet tried the wine, but it could be quite pleasant. So what about the hotel's amenities? Well, there is a gym, but it is not very big, and if you are wanting a gym in your hotel, you'd probably need to book somewhere else because, well, there's not very much in there. It also has a rooftop pool, which again is nice enough, but it is very warm, at least when I visited, so it wasn't really the most useful at the time, but it is quite a good pool with a bit of a view over the city. There's also a restaurant where there's a breakfast buffet. The buffet was perfectly fine, but nice enough. So it begs the question of, should you stay in the Hotel De Lagom? Well, obviously it's going to depend on which deals and which discounts you get. Now, I booked this through booking.com, where you can get a great deal on any of these hotels, and I'll include a link in the description below to them. But I was happy with my time there. It's one that you would certainly consider, obviously in the list of other hotels you might want to try, and certainly I'd be open to returning if or when I return to Hanoi next.